Today we're bringing you our top 5 hunting bows for 2023. Just a reminder guys, head on over to mikesarchery.com to pick up any of our latest logo gear. We got plenty of hats and shirts as well as any gear you might need for your next adventure. Welcome back to Mike's Archery, and today we are going to take a look at our top 5 hunting bows for 2023. We have got a lineup here that may surprise some of you. I'm sure there's going to be lots of conversations, lots of comments about what we have picked for our top 5 for this year. I know some folks were always adamant on their brands from last year, and I'm sure it's going to be the same thing for this year. As usual, we want to preface this. It is our opinion. We shoot all the bows. We love to shoot everybody's bows and just take the time to see what we like and what feels the best, shoots the best, speed, all those things. And we compile that. We talk to the guys here at the shop, try to put together a comprehensive list of what's going on out there in the market with the new bows that have been introduced. So if you're looking at a new bow for 2023, these are going to be our top 5 picks for you to go shoot and to look at, try out for yourself. As always, with it being our opinion, it may not suit your particular hunting style, your shooting style. You may have some other reasons for the bows that you love and have shot for years. So make sure you go to your shop or come here to Mike's Archery, put all these bows in your hand, give them all a fair shake, shoot them all, and make that decision as an informed consumer so you can pick the best bow that is suitable for you. Now, as we're looking at these bows, we're going to do these in no particular order. Again, it's just going to be kind of randomly the way we laid them out, and we'll go through these, kind of give you some highlights and specs on each one of those bows. We're going to start off with the PSE Mach 34. Now, that was a new bow for PSE this year. It's a carbon riser bow. We felt it was a really nice addition to their lineup. As a carbon, of course, it's going to be high in price point, but if you're looking in the carbon market and you're that guy wanting some of the top bows and wanting a carbon lightweight bow, I believe it was one of the lightest bows that we tested, even though it is the longer axle to axle. And with a long axle to axle, that can be a positive or negative. At 34 inches, a lot of you Western guys like that longer axle to axle. I'm a bigger guy. I like a longer axle to axle. But most guys from a tree stand or a blind situation, maybe saddle hunting, the extra length there is something that they don't like and they don't like the feel of. The longer axle to axle will give you more forgiveness, but at the same time it can get in the way sometimes. So that's something you can just take into effect if you're looking at this new bow. PSE has probably one of the most extensive cam systems. Usually what you see on hunting bows is one cam option. You get your poundage, your draw length and that. But PSE gives you 3 cam options on most all their bows, and this is no exception with the Mach 34. You've got the E2 cam for performance. You've got the EC2 cam if you're wanting really smooth, and you've got that S2 cam, which is kind of a hybrid between the two. So you've got some performance in there as well as smoothness and just overall a fitting for everybody on the market. Now, one of the other things we love about PSE is that new shim system. They've got that 220 shim system built in there for tuning. Makes it really nice and easy in adjusting this bow to get a perfect tear and a perfect tune out of your setup. They also introduced that full draw stability mid-year last year. That is something that's built into the Mach 34. And at full draw, you'll notice that it is a very stable platform. You're getting good consistency and definitely a solid shot time after time. They've also done some integrations on this bow, so you've got the rest integration, and you can use either QAD or the Hamskea core system. So we like that option, being able to use some of your top brands out there for an arrow rest, and having those integrated options is something you're going to see in the market on most of these top bows. Now, they did not do a sight integration on the carbon bow. I assume that's due to the carbon riser and the difficulty of building that bracket into it. Hopefully that's something we see going forward, but it's not built into the Mach 34. As we move on, looking at our second bow on the list, we have got the Prime Revex. Now, the Prime Revex is coming to you in 3 options. So you've got a 32, a 34, and a 36 axle to axle, and they're called the Revex 2, 4, and 6 respectively. That bow is something that we looked at for this year. They changed that cam design from what they had last year. We like that inline premise, bringing it back to a more conventional cam. They redesigned it again this year using that inline technology, but putting a draw-specific mod on that cam. And again, that we felt was a positive and a negative. You're going to get peak performance at each draw length due to that module. However, it is a little bit of a pain for the dealer, or if you walk into a shop and maybe they don't have the mod available right at that moment. So to switch draw links up, it's not a simple sliding rotation of the mod on the cam. Overall, that cam has a great feel, really smooth through the draw cycle. It doesn't dump off at the back end. The way it just rolls into your full draw position is a joy to shoot. So at full draw, this bow sits extremely stable, and it's one of the reasons we added this bow to our list for this year is the shootability and the feel of shooting this bow. From a tuning standpoint, they're still using that C-clip shim system. Now that does allow you to swap those C-clips out from side to side so that you can get a perfect tune on this bow. It's not using shims, which we feel is a better system, and it just allows the tuning process to work easier. Now they also have the center grip technology, which we feel is part of that stability on this platform. And then they did not include any of the integrated rest or sight options. We had a conversation with Prime about that. It was a decision that they made to not include the rest or sight integrations. We feel that's a little downfall to their setup, but they did do an integrated quiver system in partnership with Tight Spot. So you've got a nice tight spot quiver that will mount in there, keeping everything tight as possible with your quiver setup, but no integrated accessories after that. That brings us down to our third bow on the list, and that is going to be your Mathews Phase4. Now, Mathews has traditionally always been a great shooting bow. This is available in a 29 and a 33 option, so depending on the axle-to-axle length that you're looking for, they've got a bow to fit you. Now, with the shootability of a Mathews, their trademark and signature has always been the deadness in the hand as well as quietness. The Phase4 is no exception for this year. It is a new technology using the 8-limb system, so you've got that resistance phase dampening with a rubber lay in between the two limbs, giving you 4 limbs on top and 4 limbs on the bottom. We looked at that, and when we first saw it, it was definitely something different. We were a little concerned about the rubber inlay in between there, the longevity of it, but we've been assured by Mathews through all their testing that it is not an issue, and the longevity of these limbs is just as good as anything they've ever put out. And along those same lines, if there is an issue, it's still covered under a limb warranty issue, so it's going to be completely covered under your warranty with Mathews, so nothing to worry about there on that. Now, they didn't do a whole lot of changes to the riser. It's basically the exact same riser as a V3X, but they did complete that system of the bridge lock with a stabilizer. So you've got a bridge lock stabilizer option built into the new Phase4s, which is what is different from the last year's riser. Other than that, the riser is pretty much the same from the year before. Now, Mathews still has their same ability to swap out with their switch weight mods, which we feel is a really nice feature from Mathews. We keep one bow in stock, and whether you want 60, 65, 70, or 75 pound limb options, let off draw length can all be changed with that module system. And they still got the top hat system on their axles, so that's how they're tuning it, moving it left and right. It's definitely not the simplest system on tuning, but it's not a terrible one. In all honesty, Mathews has a lot of great features as usual. Least of our favorite is probably the grip on a Mathews. You know, it's something that we've looked at over the years, and it's just not our favorite grip, but a lot of guys love it. So if you're looking at something in a Mathews, this new Phase4 is definitely a contender in our top 5. Now, as we move down to bow number 4 on the list, we brought in the Bowtech CP30. Now, Bowtech has definitely had probably the best tuning system on the market, in our opinion, over the last several years with that deadlock cam system. It's such an easy way to be able to move your cam back and forth to get that perfect tune out of your bow. That stays the same on the CP30. They still have the flip disc technology there as well, so you can put this on a comfort or performance setting, allowing you to get a few feet per second more out of the bow if you want to. And it also has the clutch grip system, allowing you to adjust that grip to fit you properly depending on your shooting style. Outside of that, they did use the QAD rest integration, so you've got that as far as an integrated option, but no sight integration on this bow. Overall, we felt that Bowtech having that best tunability option is one of the features that added to our top 5. Now, if we see what they did with their target bows for this year, it's definitely a winner with that time lock and that new grip system they put on there. If that is something that they bring in their hunting lineup for next year, we feel Bowtech is definitely going to be a top contender as one of our top bows ever. Now that brings us down to number 5 on our list, and we added Elite onto the list for this year. With the Elite era. So it is a carbon riser bow. It is Elite's first stab at giving us a carbon riser. They've jumped into that market with the competition there at PSE and Hoyt, and we felt that they did a great job on the new Era. It has got a fantastic feel to it. It's light, it's shootable, which is what Elite has been known for years. It's really what they advertise for their bows anyway, and they got it right on this setup. It's got a great feel. Overall, the draw cycle is great. So we really felt that this bow deserved to be on the list for this year. Now you've got a couple options on that cam. It comes standard with their performance mod, and they offer a smooth mod on these bows for this year as well. So if you're looking at that bow, what we felt was with the Omnia, the performance setting did not have the greatest feel, but on the Era, it really does. And then if you want it to be even smoother, then take a look at adding those smooth mods onto this Era for even a nicer draw cycle. Now it is on that new SP cam, which has a lot of adjustability, and it's got that V2 micro mod on there. So that was a technology that we like to see. It allows you to change not only your let off, but also your draw length and the holding weight at precise increments throughout that draw cycle. It's just going to allow you to tune this bow to a perfect feel for your shooting style. Now Elite has had the set technology for easy tuning, and it is a great way to be able to get that perfect tear. It's a nice easy system. It's well labeled on the bow. It just makes it easy to get your bow to shoot the way that you need it to do. Now they did not do any integrated accessories on the new Era. Again, I feel that's because of the carbon riser. Some folks have had trouble getting that metal plates and just the accessories to mount in there properly in that carbon lay. But for a first attempt at a carbon bow, they've definitely got a shooter here with Elite. Now that's where the top 5 ends for us, but we wanted to give you a little bit more. There were a couple other bows on the market that we looked at, and obviously as we're shooting all these bows throughout the year, there's a ton of great options out there. So if your brand or your particular choice didn't make the list, tell us about it. There's probably reasons for us, but there's also probably reasons for you that you did choose those bows. But we looked at a couple extra bonus bows we wanted to throw at you that we felt were an honorable mention that you probably need to take a look at when you're at your shop. First off is the Hoyt Z1S. Now, we felt that Hoyt just didn't make the list this year with the changes that they made. It wasn't a whole lot with the shim system and the tunability of their bows. We didn't feel that it kept up with the competition that we were seeing from everyone else. We still feel Hoyt has one of the best grips out there. It's still a great bow, and with the Z1S getting the extra speed and performance out of that bow, it was still very shootable, a very smooth draw cycle, and overall a joy to shoot. Now it does have a long axle to axle and a short brace height. That's going to make it a little bit critical from the brace height standpoint of things, but they make up the forgiveness in that longer axle to axle at 33 inches. Overall, Hoyt has got a really nice bow there with the Z1S. And if you're looking to get peak performance and you're a Hoyt guy, I would highly recommend that you take a look at their new Z1S speed bow. Now the next one that we wanted to mention in our lineup is the Bear Execute. Now we felt that as Bear stepped into the market and competing with these top brands and flagship models at $11.99, some people thought they were crazy. They offered that Execute in a 30 and a 32 option on the axle to axle. But when you shoot that bow with the EKO cam on it, it gives a ton of adjustability, a great feel, great shootability, and overall it is a really nice package and a great shooting bow. And we felt that the fact that they stepped into the market and are coming after some of what we consider top brand bows, and I feel that people have overlooked Bear for a lot of years because they didn't really make a bow that came at this market. The new Execute is something that we feel you should take a look at and shoot before you make a decision on any of these other bows. They did not put any integrated systems on there from a sight or a rest standpoint, but who knows what they've got coming for the future. Overall, we just felt it was a bow that was a step in a direction that Bear needed to go and is going to make them more competitive in the market, and they've got something that will contend with most of these flagship bows from everyone else. So as usual, this was our list, just what we thought for the year. Maybe it lines up with your thoughts, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Give us some comments down in the bottom there that we can look at. We've tried to put links throughout those. If you want more information about any of these specific bows, I'll try to put some links in there at the top so that you can go look at our in-depth videos on each one of these models from each one of these manufacturers. So hopefully your bow made our top picks for the year. And if you're looking for a brand new bow for 2023, then be sure and give us a call here at Mike's Archery so we can get you set up with your new bow.